Hi, Carol here, and welcome to my craft room. I came down with a migraine last night and really wasn't well, and I have been laying low all day today. I'm just up and doing a little bit here. And the card that I'm going to get into for our next project, it's 2 projects down. It has to do with Copics. And I know when I first started my Copic collection and started Copic coloring, I was a little messed up with why the numbers were in the way they were on the pen. Does that make sense? I got a headache here, don't forget that. Like what was the B, what was the 4, and what was the 5? And I would watch videos and I would hear people say, let's say B26, B48. B51, and that's not bingo. I don't play bingo, but it sure sounded like it. And then when I finally got the codes down and what they really meant, that really helped me. And so this video is for beginners like myself, that once you get the codes down, you will understand the marker, you will be less intimidated. And you'll be able to, if you go over to Sandy Allnock's blog, she did a hex chart. And I'm going to get that up and show you as well. And it shows you the colors that are grouped in a honeycomb that will help you get your colors. But for today, I'm going to quickly just show you what some of the colors mean. So I'm going to take out B01. Well, let me do it this way. Yeah, B01. Okay, B01, B41, and B91. And we are going to talk about, if I brought a pen, which I didn't, grab one from here. Okay. So, the first thing we're going to do is talk about the say we have B14. Okay? So let me zoom in on this. B14. Can you see that? Now, the B obviously is for the color. Okay? Color. The first number in any marker will tell you the color. V06 is violet. BV08 is blue violet. So the first letter in all your Copic markers will tell you the color, okay, in what color range it's in. So B, we're working with blue. Now the first number here, this is how, when I watched video after video after video trying to figure out this Copic code thing. And when I got it, it really helped me. I tried to one time, I did a video, but I wasn't catching on quite right. Ignore that one. But now I have practiced so many months of just coloring day after day after day. And understanding this was a big help to me. So I'm hoping that this will be a big help to you. So the first number, if we have a B14, the 1 is pure color. Okay? And it is we're going to go like this with an arrow. This is your saturation. This is how much color is poured into this first number. Okay? So the higher your number, if I had a B94, this 9 over here in saturation, the high number is less. You're doing completely opposite. The 9 means it's less. This 9 is less saturation. Okay? And if it's a B54, you know that 5 is not fully drained of saturation. It's about halfway there. So it's about halfway drained of saturation. Okay? So that's how I put it there. Halfway drained if you're looking at the 5. So the first number is saturation. The less the number, like the lower the number, the more saturated it is. And let me show you that. So if we take a B01, okay, this is a B01 right here. I'm going to see if I can zoom you right in. If we take a B01, let's write it in there. B01, there's the saturation, the 0, okay? So here's the color. Let's make some circles here. And then we jump over to the B41 right here. And we put some of that color on there. And we write that in. B4, saturation, 1. The first number is saturation. Always remember that right there. Okay? It is getting less saturated. See how more saturation is in that 0 than it is in the 4? And then if you hop over to the B91, the first number being the saturation, okay, now this is the B91, B91, the 9 being your saturation. Look at it, the 9, it is the highest number, so it is less saturated. So what do we get from this? The lower number, the first number, the lower it is, the more saturation is in it. They have saturated it with color. It's more saturated, but the higher the number, this first number, the 9, it is less. Totally opposite to our thinking. It's less saturated. Okay, so the lower the first number, it's more saturated with color. So a 0 would have a lot of saturation, but a 9 would have little saturation in its color, as you can see if I show you up close right there. See how the 0-1 and the 9-1, the higher is less saturated with color than the 0-1. So that'll help you with the first number, right? And the 9, it's grayed out, it's toned down. It's just the saturation is toned almost down to no color. So hopefully that will help you with that end, okay? So now let's go on to the second number. So that's those. And I'm hoping this just quickly helps you as you do your Copic coloring. So now we will go to the second shade and we'll do the B00, the B02. Let me get this up there so you see this. Maybe I have to come out just a tad. There we go. The B04 and the B06. So let's grab those markers. So you have the B00. Let's color that down there. B00. Then you have the B02. B02. Then you have the B04. B04. And you have the B06. And now we're talking about the second letter in the number system. So as you can see, the lowest number in the first in saturation, this is in shade. So this is shade. The second number is shade. okay? The second number's shade, the first number's saturation. So you know SA starts before SH. So you have saturated, and that's the lower the number, the more saturated, the higher the number, the less saturated. But we're going to turn it around now. In the shade, the lowest number is the less amount of shading that's in it. It's lighter. It has a light shade. It's very L-I-G-H-T. It's very light. It's the 0, okay? Then the B02, as you get higher, the darker the shade. So as you move up, the darker the shade. So a B02, then B04, B06. And you can see how the 2, 4, the 0, B00, B02, B04, and B06. In the shades, the lower number is the lightest. The higher number is the darkest. So, how does this help us as far as our knowing the actual number system? Okay, so I'm going to share this with you. Say we picked out a B, we want to get a shade group. So to get a shade group, you want to stick with number 1, the colors. Stay with blue violet, stay with green, stay with yellow greens. Stay with the first number being the same. That way you will get a perfect blend. Perfect blend. And as you mature in your coloring skills, you'll be able to blend outside the colors here and understand which colors blend better. But when you're first learning, stay with your basic color. So I'm going to pick a B12, a B14, and a B16. So I've picked a B12. Let me grab them. B12. Right here. B12. I picked a B14. Let me grab that. B14. B14. Okay, B14. And then you can go 2 or 3 numbers higher, but I like to stick with 2. And then you pick a B16. So let's see where I put my B16. It should be in here, right here. B16. And put that there. These are a beautiful color group. This B12, B14, B16. That's perfect shading, a nice blending set. Not so much shading, but a blending set to where you can blend these together to make a light tone, a mid-tone, and a dark tone. So it just makes a natural blending colors. But watch what happens when you hear people go like this. And lots of people do it, and I did it at first when I first got my Copics and didn't understand why the Y's in the Copic coloring. I would go B12, B14, B16. So let's just say, if you did it like that, and say you did B16, B16, I'm going to say, because I don't want to get used to saying 16, but if you were thinking it was a B16, so let's take the B, for my sake it's the 16, but it's 16, B16, if you're saying the numbers like that, and it does look like a B16, and then you jump to, I'm hoping you can see this, then you're going to jump to a B18, which people will say is 18, because you think they skip 2 or 3 color shades up, right? So you have your B, the same color, and then you go to B18. So let's find a B18. It should not be far, right down there, B18. Okay, so you pick a B18. Let me put that down. So you're saying B16, then you're going B18. Here it is here. And what is the next one you think you're going to do there? You're going to go either a B20 because you're going 16, 18. Oh, my next one should be 20. Or let's say 20, it's 21. That's the next shade up with the Copic is a 21. So then you go B21 because it looks like it goes up because we did the B12, the B14, the B16. But if you're calling them numbers, it's going to mess you up when you're trying to blend. You're going to say B16, B18, and in your mind you're going to think B21. That has to be the next one. And look at that color. That means your 2 is off in saturation. Off. It no longer is more saturated. It is coming up to be less saturated. It's not a 1, right? B16, 18, and then you changed it to a 2. Not good. You're changing your saturation. You're getting less saturation, and look at the difference right here in your when you want to blend. Look at that blending set right there. But if you're calling it by the number 16, 18, 21, you've just gone out of your saturation into a 2, and you're not going to get a good blend with that set of numbers. And it works every time because you've just knocked the saturation out. So if you're looking for good blending and you're wondering, why is this not blending with that? The first thing you have to realize is the number. Get the first is the letter of your color, right? So you get that. Then the next number is your saturation. That's the first number. I want to lay it so you can see it. Let's just get a 0 here. Let's go B00. So you have a B00 right here. So you have the numbers in the saturation. The lower the number, the more saturated. The higher the number, the less saturated. Now you say, okay, there's a whole bunch of zeros, right? Like zeros, there's a B00, there's a B000, there's a B0000, and I think the 4 zeros goes into a BG, if I'm right. So it pops up to the BG. So how does that play into part? Okay, this is how it does it. Let's get another sheet here. You have a B00 right here, B00, and then you have a B000, and then you jump up to 4 zeros, and look what you've done. And this will help you to realize it. B0000. What that tells you is the B is your blue, right? Hope you see this. Let me come in. And I hope this helps you. And then the B00, this is still saturation. Okay, still saturation. But these 2 zeros, these 3 zeros mean the color is going down. It's less and less and less saturated. So that's how you look at it. Whenever you have 2 zeros, it's the 0 is not as saturated, like it's got full saturation. But if you add another one, it's taken out more saturation. And if you take another one, it's 3 zeros is taken out even more saturation. It goes in the opposite direction. So I hope that makes sense to you. As far as the more zeros, the lighter the shades. That's how it goes. Because these, I'm sorry, it's not the saturation. I just said it again. This is the saturation. I just got done a migraine. Have mercy on me. This first is saturation. This is shade. Shade, 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 S, shade, S, shade, S. And so what it happens, the more zeros you add, the lighter the shades on your face. Think of shades. Has nothing to do with saturation because it's the second number, right? It's your shades. So the more zeros in your shade column, more zeros, it's lighter shades. That's all it is. You're just going up to a lighter shade, and you can see it when you're looking at them here. See how you're going up? You're getting lighter shades. So the first number, the first letter is your color. The next one is your saturation, okay? And the third is your shade. And that if it has more than 1 0, the shades are getting lighter. And that's as easy as it is. They didn't make it complicated, but we can make it complicated by calling it by numbers, actual numbers, 16, 14, 18. And I have just a second so we can show you just how that works again in a different shade. Let's say we do RV 29. No, let's go RV 14. So the next thing you would think is RV, 14. So let's pick an RV 1. I'm looking in here. RV1. I'm looking for a 1C. RV. Let's go 13. 14. 1. Okay. RV 19. So if we go RV 14, RV, the next one you would think you would put in there for a nice blend would be, you could do RV 13, RV 14, and then what would you think? Go to another 1 because you're going for the saturation. You want the saturation the same. So I'm just looking at my colors here in the RVs. So you could do RV 17. Okay, this would be a nice blend. RV, the R we've kept with the red violet. The RV 14, you've come up a shade. RV, you've kept the same saturation. The 17. But if you're saying them in numbers, this is what I'm going to show you. If you're saying these in numbers, my friends, you're going 13, 14, you're jumping up a few to 17, you're jumping up to 19, 9. Let's take this away, and the next one you would think you're going to do is a 14, 17, 19, and then the next one would be RV 21 right here. You would be going to 21 if you set it in numbers. Look at how off that is. Are you going to get a good blend with that? Let's take the 14 away. If you did the 14, messing myself up. If you did this RV 17, RV 19, the next one you're going to say is RV 21 because you're going up a few numbers. But that's not the way it works. You can see that that blend is not going to be a good blend. This is way too light because the saturation is wrong and the color is wrong as well. It's not the same. You want a deep color in the 9, a deep color, a deep shade as a 7, a deep shade in that 9, and then you popped up to your shade being a 1 because you picked the 21. That's not good. You don't end up with a good shading group. And generally you do 3, but you can do 4. You know, I can pop the 1, 3 in there. But if you wanted to say 13, 17, 19, 21, you've picked the wrong saturation and you've picked the wrong shade. The shade's way, way too light by doing that. So I encourage you, my friends, if you're getting into Copic markers and you want to learn how to do them in the way they were made to do, they were made to call it by the color, the saturation, and the shade. They were not made to color it, to recite it as a number in the number family, like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20. No, 13, 17, 19. No, it is 1 in saturation, 3 in shade. 1, 7, 1 in same saturation is going to make a beautiful blending trio. And then the 1, 9, you have the same saturation, which is 1, and the 9, it's a nice, deep, rich shade. Isn't that awesome? And once you learn this, my friends, you can blend out any colors when you are coloring in your images by just knowing that it is an RV red violet 1, 3, red violet 1, 7, and red violet 1, 9. You stayed in your saturation, all ones, and you, in your shading, you've come up in your shades. You went 3, 7, 9. And I hope this helps you, and it will work in any colors, in greens. As soon as you see it, like I say, it's like having stuff out in your craft room. Seeing it, you're going to use it. Seeing this combo really does help. I'm going to G1, 2, G1, 7. Now if I was going 12, 17, the next one I would go would be G20, let me see if it goes up, 21. Look at this. Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. G is the colors, they're all the same. Saturation, 1, all the same. But when you're calling it 12, 17, and 21, you just jumped the shade. You went from a 2 to a 7, getting darker because the shades go dark as the numbers are low. They're not as dark high, they are dark. And now you bumped it down to a 1. You even went under your first color marker, right? You jumped down even below the 2. So how on earth is that going to blend? It's not. But if you say it properly and you say G12, G17, I need a G19. So let's grab a G19, and that's going to be perfect if I can find it. It might not have it, but that's why I would go, let me see, it might not be in the, I have all of the Copics, so let's do this one. This would make a perfect blend. Look at that. G12, G14, G17. All the colors are the same, all the saturations the same, and our beautiful color is going up in the shades, getting darker, because as you go up in number, the shades get darker. Isn't that awesome? I hope you enjoyed that. And if you're interested, I could copy and send you this. I can put it on my blog. If you if it helps to just look at it, to see things was so helpful to me. And now my Copic markers, I call them for how Copic made them. Copic made them to call them in separate numbers. B01, B03, B06. Take care, everybody.